any shared messages will be recorded. Your remote attendance hereby discharges Toastmasters International and Leadership Speak and or any of its members from all claims, demands, rights, promises, damages, and liabilities arising out of or in connection with the use or distribution of said video recordings, including, but not limited to, any claims for invasion of privacy, appropriation of likeness, or defamation. Zoom Master, can I please ask you to start the recording? Thank you. Welcome to Leadership Speak, an advanced Toastmasters club for leadership development. We are one of the top 5 clubs globally. My name is Rosie Rana, and it's my pleasure to be your FAA today. At Toastmasters clubs, our club mission is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Leadership Speak is the premier club for experienced Toastmasters to become better self-directed leaders. We are an advanced club focused primarily on leadership development in everything we do. Our timer has her virtual hand raised so we can all immediately see who is keeping the time. Our Toastmaster of the day today, who will be leading our meeting, is our club president, Holmes Teng. Holmes has been our president through the year, and today is our last meeting. He resides in Singapore and is a project manager with the government of Singapore. Please all do join me in welcoming Holmes Teng to the stage. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Rosie. Members and guests, welcome to the very last meeting of this Toastmasters year. As president, I'm proud that we have come to this stage where we take a pause and honor the growth, honor the journey, honor the process that has taken place for the club and for each and every member. And guests, by your presence here, I know you are interested in leadership. Leadership Speak is a club that's entirely focused on leadership. That is why our club mission is about for experienced Toastmasters to become better self-directed leaders. Each week, each meeting, each activity we have is all about how each of us can better support one another to achieve better leadership. And here, when we talk about the very last meeting of this Toastmasters year, we talk about celebration. And we here boldly affirmed celebration is also a core part of leadership. Leadership only exists with the people around us. And this process that we have together with them, these milestones that we have together with them, this is a journey leaders all go through. In Toastmasters, in a yearly basis, we have leadership renewal, we have educational awards, and we have people that commit exceptionally more, outstanding commitment and outstanding service to the club and also beyond. So today is a day of celebration. However, celebration is not the end. Let me repeat that. Celebration is not the end. Celebration, the pause that we have, is a start to a greater tomorrow. That is why, while doing the celebration in the very last meeting of this Toastmasters year, the call to action, as you will hear from our educational speaker, from the speakers themselves, and from the brief interviews that I'm doing, it's about how we will continue to intentionally strive for excellence in tomorrow, the coming year. And fellow self-directed leaders here, as you listen to this meeting, while we are talking about primarily in the Toastmasters context, know this very clearly. Whatever that we talk about, the leadership, the celebration, the pause, the goals, everything here is applicable to your life outside of Toastmasters. Whatever that we do here, whatever training, whatever teaching, whatever sharing that we do here, the end goal is always that outside of Toastmasters, we become better leaders in our communities, better leaders in our businesses, better leaders to serve the people around us. I take a moment to speak to the most important people in the meeting room, the guest. Guest, welcome to Leadership Speak. In each and every of our meetings, we value guests as the most important people because it is through you that we know how well we are doing, how relevant we are to the world. And in each and every meeting, we welcome you to continue to join us and give us your feedback of how we may have impacted you. Or perhaps you have ideas for us, suggestions for us to do better. Please let us know. For this process, one of the key ways is for you to sign the guest book. And I'd like to have the PR Master put the guest book. Thank you so much, PR Master. Guest book link in the chat. Guest, please sign the guest book. Leave some comments in the guest book. And if you have any further queries or comments or suggestions, feel free to reach out to me or any other executive committee members throughout the meeting via a private chat or towards the end of the meeting as well as after the meeting. We will have time for some face-to-face interaction with one another. With that, let me move to the meeting by having our toast to start off. Our toast today is Nelly Jane Galido. When asked about the meeting theme as well as the mood of celebration that we have, Nelly says, success deserves both celebration and reflection. She believes that when we honor how far we've come, we find the courage to see how far we will go. Nelly Jane, let us have your toast.
Thank you so much, TMOD. Fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests, leaders. What if the greatest thing you've accomplished this year is something no one else can physically see? Not the awards achieved, not the speech you delivered, not the goal you received, but the courage you found when you wanted to give up, the resilience you built when some things didn't go as planned, or the leader that you quietly became. Just recently, I was clearing my old notes when I came across a draft that I had written months ago. And as I read it, I smiled. Not because it was a perfect one, but it reminded me of the person who wrote it. Someone who was uncertain, learning, and simply trying to do a little better than the day before. It made me realize that we are often so focused on the destination that we fail to notice our own transformation. So as leaders, We naturally look ahead. We ask, what's next? We pursue the next challenge, the next project, the next goal. But leadership also calls us to pause. Just pause. Recognize the effort behind your every achievement. Celebrate the resilience behind your every success. And honor the people who believed in us, challenge us, and walk beside us. Because when we honor the journey, we don't become satisfied with what we have. We became grateful. And that gratitude gives us the clarity, the humility, the confidence to raise the bar even higher. And so today, let us celebrate not only what we have accomplished, but also who we have become. May the lessons remind us to become behind the strength before us, that so that our journey, the journey we've honored, did it inspire us to the journey that still awaits. Fellow Toastmasters, please unmute your microphone, turn on your cameras, and raise your glasses. Here is to honoring our journey.
To honor.
Honoring our journey.
Here is to honoring our journey.
Back to you, TMOD.
Thank you, our toast, Nelly Jane. Supporting our meeting today are also two excellent self-directed leaders whom I will call to introduce their roles. We have the timer, Gada Amojakish. Gada says about the meeting team, today, as we share this honoring day, she's so proud to be part of the team, growing together. Gada, share with us the role of the timer.
Thank you, Holmes. Good day, fellow Toastmasters. My name is Ghada, your timer for today. I shall time you according to the times on the agenda. After each session, I shall post them to the chat box. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Madam Timer. The second member, which I will call to introduce the role, is Christina Huo. Christina is a psychologist and a human architect. She believes that when we better understand ourselves, we become better communicators, stronger leaders, and more intentional in the way we live. Christina, please introduce the role of the timer.
Thank you, TMOD. Now, as your grammarian for today, good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As your grammarian today, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to their language usage. I'll take note of any improper language as well as any outstanding words, quotes, sayings, or thoughts. As grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce the word of the day. Distinguished is used as adjective. The meaning for the word of the day is befitting and immersed. So distinguished leader, distinguished Toastmasters is not counted as using the word of the day. Back to you, TMOD.
We have a grammarian today that adds an additional rule. We have common twos, distinguished Toastmasters is not counted, but we can learn how to live a distinguished life. I think that's counted. Self-directed leaders. Before we go into the next segment, which is the keynote, one of the highlights of today's meeting, I'd like everyone to start taking on a reflective note. What are some of the things that you are proud that you have done? Especially in the Toastmasters context, but for those of us who are also very active outside of Toastmasters, a busy year ahead, note down some of these things. This will be very helpful as you then listen on to the educational speaker that's coming ahead to anchor what you have done in the past and then look forward to the future. I would also like to speak once again to the most important people in the meeting room, the guest. Guest, as you come here to leadership speak, as you listen, as you reflect, as you have your key takeaways, a little challenge that I'll leave with all of you is that, is leadership something that each of us can develop individually? In my experience, we need a community. And in my experience, leadership speak among the multiple districts, dozens of clubs I've visited, I can very confidently say leadership speak is the best. It's the best if you're serious about self-directed leadership, because here we have a community of people that will journey with you, that will challenge you. And I'm mindful here, I use the word challenge, not babysit, okay? To challenge you to greater growth. So if you're someone who is looking to become a better leader, take on the next stage of leadership, leadership speak should be on one of your top choices, one of the decisions you're going to make in the upcoming Toastmaster year starting 1st of July. With that, I'm going to move on to our leadership speak educational speech. At this time, I'd like to invite the leadership speak the evaluator for the leadership speak educational speech, Arouna, to introduce to us the speech that will be done by Brahm. Arouna.
Thank you very much, dear Toastmaster of the day. Good morning, fellow Toastmaster and distinct guests. Today, I have the honor to evaluate our educational speakers, our elect President Brahm Memone. How can I say about Brahm? What I contact Brahm for is a specific goal for this project. He told me, Arouna evaluates me with what we know as the standard of evaluation at Leadership Speak Toastmaster Club. So I will evaluate Brahm based on the standards, high standard of evaluation, what we learn at Leadership Speak. So back to you, dear Toastmaster of the day. And best of luck, Brahm.
Thank you so much, Arouna. Brahm's speech will also be anchored on the presentation mastery pathway, prepare to speak professionally. And this purpose of this project is for Brahm to present a keynote style speech, exemplifying a professional level speaker's point of view or message in a style that supports the speech content. Brahm, as Arouna has introduced, is the president-elect, but not only that, he's one of the co-founders of a club, a master coach, and an expert in leadership. Brahm, honoring the journey. Honoring the journey, Brahm, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, Mr. President. Thank you for the generous introduction. Thank you for asking me to speak today. I'm really honored. This is part of my journey in Leadership Speak. And of course, in the coming year, I'm the president-elect, but I will be the invisible president. And the rest of my team will be very visible. Now, honoring the journey. How can we honor a journey in Leadership Speak? People can in many different organizations, many different clubs, there's various ways of honoring journeys. But Leadership Speak was created fundamentally, and it's right on my head. That's our mandate, that's our vision. And our vision is, of course, the premier club for experienced Toastmasters to become better self-directed leaders. It governs everything. It governs our very existence and how we are here and why I'm here and why you are here. And it's a tough job being a self-directed leader, of course. And I'm not going to harp on how it's difficult, but we are here. All 41, 42 of us in the club. Most of you are present here today. Thank you very much for being here. That is part of the journey. Part of the journey was not to get your speeches done, how many awards you won, how many meetings you attended. Sure, of course, that counts towards who we are and our self-directedness and what we are learning about becoming more self-directed. For the benefit of the guests, I've said this to our members many times, is that we were never taught how to be self-directed. So when you come to Leadership Speak and suddenly you're faced with the task of becoming better self-directed, right? It can be a daunting task. It can be a steep climb at times. But here we are. And so the very first person that I really want to thank, and I'm sure that, Holmes will be thanking everybody, but I don't know who will be thanking Holmes. But so I really want to thank Holmes for really taking the bull by the horns. It really is a bull. Leadership Speak can be a bull in a china shop. Or it could be, a bull that does great plowing and allowing the sowing of the seeds and growing trees and plants and harvesting and so on. It could be used either way. And so our TMOD today and our president has taken a Leadership Speak, not as a bull in the china shop, but as something that has created enduring, foundational, from where we were to here now, and for us to grow next year. Otherwise, we wouldn't have grown into next year. We are here, which means he has done some great things in this club over the past year. So Holmes, thank you very much. Thank you for who you've been in the club over the past year. Now, Holmes, here's something that you sent me a private note, which I'm going to expose you, which is you said you were going to take a back seat for the next 6 months. And I'm challenging you not to take that back seat for the next 6 months. I want you to be present and involved in the club. And if I have to come to Singapore and drag you to be on the screen, I will do that. But you'll have to pay the ticket. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is an informal presentation. By the way, it's not going to be very formal. This is the end of the year. We want to celebrate, so it's nothing formal. So please indulge with me, laugh with me, cheer with me, and so on. But the next person that and I'm sure Holmes will talk a lot about this person, but I want to myself thank Nicole Whyte for being a VP of Education. See, in most clubs, VP of Education, what do? And Holmes, I don't want to steal your thunder. I'm not sure what you will say, and I'm not putting you on the hot seat that you will have to say something about Nicole. But this is what I wanted to say about Nicole, or anyone who assumes the VP of Education role, is that, hi Nicole, how are you doing, by the way? All good? You look smart, by the way. Look at you. You're muted, Nicole. So good to see you. And so, thank you for the courage to stepping into the VP of Education role. It is not about assigning speeches and roles only. It is much, much more tedious task in terms of that you have to ensure that people are learning to be better self-directed. And all those trainers we have, who are actually mentors, we call them mentors in other clubs, we call them trainers here. It's the same thing. So dear guests, if you're wondering what we do here, we have trainers who will train you. Even though you are supposed to be an experienced Toastmaster, we do the grammarian role differently. We do all these other roles a bit differently because we're an advanced club. Would you agree we should be doing things differently? And Nicole here has successfully made sure that we keep our standards to where we should be. So that was part of the journey. And today I want to honor you, Nicole, for keeping that standard. And I look forward to you being in the orientation team where we can take it to the next level, where it really should be from your HR perspective. So Nicole, thank you very much. Now, Holmes, did I put you on the spot there? But I had to say this. So now, having said all these things, what I was referring to earlier is not about the speeches, how many speeches each individual did, or how many awards they got, or how many meetings they attended, even though we will be recognizing that, or I'm sure we will be. But also what I want to say is honoring the journey means how much have you grown? How much have you grown as a self-directed leader, or grown anyways, because you've been in a different environment than a normal community club? As a member, how much have you grown? Also, our guests like Yvonne Codrington, right? Or Jean Small, who've been coming for a couple of years now to our meetings as guests, and they've learned a lot, and that's why they keep coming back. They have certain restrictions in why they haven't been able to join, but they're here whenever they can. So I want to recognize also our two guests, Jean Small and Yvonne Codrington. And not only that, let me not forget our guest, Tim Liu. You know, when he came into the room, I knew Tim was from Malaysia. How come? Because I've known Tim for 4 years at minimum, I believe. And so Tim, thank you for being here from Malaysia as well. Which is not far from Singapore, by the way. It's just a hop, skip, and jump from Singapore. So you guys are in the same time zone. Okay. Now, so how have you grown? What fears have you overcome? What leadership muscle did you develop during this year? This is what we have to look at. And importantly, did you become, as I always keep saying this, and I'll repeat this many times in this presentation, is how much better have you become as a self-directed leader, right? Self-directed leader is not only about turning up to a speech, but being able to plan and understand that we are a team, we are a community, and therefore you need to be able to plan 2 or 3 months ahead of time as to when you will be speaking, what roles you will hold. That is self-directed. That's the ultimate goal that you have to have. And we were never trained in Toastmasters environment to be able to plan 3 months ahead. Here we urge people to at least plan 3 months ahead, right? Which is being self-directed. So hopefully some of you have gotten better at that, and I'd love to know if you have gotten better at that. Send me a note. But that is one of the essential things. So growth, what fears did you overcome? The leadership muscle that you developed, and did you become a better self-directed leader? This is what you need to look at. That's the journey, right? And of course, then the icing on the cake would be, yeah, I did 20 speeches or 10 speeches or whatever it is, and I got a triple crown, or I did 2 levels, or some of you have done 5, 6 levels. I'm sure Nicole and Holmes will tell us later on the awards and all that. So that is the icing on the cake as well. Okay. Now, as I go along, the next person that I want to recognize from me, this is the only chance I'll get to speak today, so, is Jyoti Thomas. And now why I want to mention Jyoti Thomas is simply this. If I ask most of our members which district they are in, they tend to forget that they are in District 86. Jyoti Thomas knows she's in District 86. And she knows the district director. She writes to him, Bhushan. She knows the program quality director. And she knows the club growth director very well. And she knows who the incoming officers are as well at the district level. And that's what I admire about Jyoti, is that she knows that she's in District 86, she's in leadership speaking. So her journey has been even much further than most people take the journey. So Jyoti, thank you so much for setting that example of being in Chennai, right, India, District 129 or 229, God knows what it is, they've changed the district so much. But you keep saying to me, I'm in District 86, Leadership Speak is my club, and so, you know, I know the district officers, and you actually write to them, you tell them the projects you're doing. It's like awesome. Jyoti, what do you think? Say something for me, please.
I'm tongue-tied now. Thank you so much. Yes.
You, tongue-tied. You.
Well, I think, yeah, very true. I do feel like earlier it used to be, which is your primary club? And we had to like think and say. Now it's like automatic, right? It's when I write the first club, it comes in, and I think I really owe it to everybody here. And I've got a whole bunch of it. Thank you so much. Yes, I like to connect. I like to flow. Thank you so much, Brahm, and everyone at Leadership Speak. It's a great family to be.
So, I don't know if Holmes was going to mention that, but the things that I've mentioned about Nicole, Holmes, and Jyoti right now, and our guests, these are the invisible victories. These are not visible anywhere at all. Right? But it shows that they are self-directed, that they've done something in Leadership Speak, which is to extend themselves beyond what they would in a normal community club, right? And that's what makes this club, Leadership Speak, the club that it is, one of the top clubs globally. And every year we are the top club in District 86 as well. So now, what are some of the victories that, invisible victories that you may have had? There were times when some of you members were called to at the last minute to do a presentation because somebody dropped out, due to unfortunate circumstances. They had emergencies, they were called out to work, or they couldn't make it, or the internet went down. In some parts of the world, it's raining heavily and suddenly the internet just goes, right? And so on. And somebody fills the role in. So the speech that you almost didn't give because you were told to do it at the last minute, or you were afraid to do that level 5 presentation, but you still took the courage to do that level 5 presentation. That's a victory, right? The roles that you accepted, especially, most people are apprehensive of taking on the TMOD role. Next year, we will actually even raise the ante to even more. The presiding Toastmaster, right? That's even more a role that is even more heavy duty, where they take charge of everything. All right, but the TMOD will, of course, which we explained the week before, what the TMOD will do, what the presiding Toastmaster will do. We are training the presiding Toastmaster, and there'll be several people who will hold that role through the year to be the officers next year and the president next year, right? So that's that role. It's meant for those people. Some people have told me that they want to be on the executive team next year. Next year, which means not this coming year, but 2027, 28. And so we'll be preparing them. So that in itself was a victory, which lies now. I asked you now what you want to do in the future, right? And so that's just amazing. That's how people just step forward. Those are the invisible victories, is part of the journey, right? And sometimes they're so invisible, we don't even see them. So sometimes, some of you members reached out to other members and encouraged them. Sandra always tells me, Sandra Valks here, she tells me that she speaks to members all the time, and she coaches and trains or whatever she does with them, and pushes them forward invisibly. And so thank you very much, Sandra, for doing that. That's the invisible part. I don't know what, of course, Holmes, I hope I'm not stealing your thunder, but these are the invisible things that I really needed to honor today. So, Sandra, thank you. Over to you, Sandra.
I know I'm a challenge, and I've certainly challenged you, Brahm, over the years, and here you are from this boardroom member to a smiling leader. I congratulate you on that. And working behind the scenes is really where I like to be, because most of my life is out in the open. And so being able to blend into the background as well once in a while, which is a challenge, is very useful. But
and thank you. You wrote a book and you published a book, so that would have kept you busy as well, for sure.
I did. I'm so proud. Yeah. Oh.
So, ladies and gentlemen, is it available on Amazon?
It's available on Amazon.
One get it. Breaking point. So that's another invisible victory. Sorry, Holmes, again. I keep saying sorry, Holmes. Oh, that's not part of your thunder, but if it is, just keep you go ahead as well and recognize it. But Sandra, thank you so much for being with this.
And I do have to say that the book has a lot of Toastmasters in it, and AVP in prison. But I also know that my 33 years in Toastmasters has driven my life, and that book would not have existed without all of the training and
in Toastmasters
learned. Yeah. Thank you.
prisons. You've done
Congratulations,
great work in
everyone.
prisons. I mean, that takes a tough lady to go into a prison and do that. You are
Especially
tough.
when they say you, we're afraid of you.
I know, right? Thank you, Sandra.
Thank
So
you.
those are the invisible victories, ladies and gentlemen, especially our guests here. Our Toastmasters are up to a lot of different things, not because they were in Leadership Speak only, but because of the journey from other clubs and in Leadership Speak, and God knows what else, where else they will end up, like Holmes mentioned. Some of you guys, our members, and you guests, because the exposure you had, you'll become CEOs and presidents, and you run big businesses, or you become speakers or keynote speakers, and so on. The journey is endless. I know Gada Almorjarkish here is going to be one of the top trainers in relationships globally in a few years' time. That's her goal. And so, Gada, that's another invisible victory, that you've really taken on something to go for the big, should I say big bucks? Or the larger audience, or making a difference in the world anyways. But of course, big bucks must come as well, right? I'm all for that. Thank you, Gada. Anything you want to say about your Instagram or about what you do?
No, thank you so much for that. I didn't expect you to put me in the spot today. Thank you. And I really appreciate all effort and support you have done to me. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. I like to embarrass you. If you embarrass, fine, that's good too. Okay, so let's move on to the next little thing that I want to talk about is, so, leadership is much more than meetings or the invisible victories that I've mentioned. What else do we do at Leadership Speak? That's part of honoring the journey. Is Holmes turned up most Thursdays, I believe all Thursdays. I wasn't really around for about 6-7 months, but Thursday trainings are so important for us. Even if, we train people, even if they've been like international directors who are part of our members here, and they're doing grammarian role, we tell them, come and be trained, because we do it very differently. And on Thursday meetings, we do that. If it's a grammarian role, Toastmaster of the Day role, whether you need to sort of do a speech and practice it, and so on. That happens all on Thursdays, 2 days before the meeting, as well as members know how far, about at least a couple of weeks before that a meeting is coming up, in which they have a role and they have time to prepare and then come and practice it on a Thursday. This is part of the journey. The other part of our journey, which is totally invisible, is how much we are service oriented and how we sort of focus on excellence and connection. So service, excellence, and connection, those are my 3 favorite things that really make any club. I can walk into any club, you can walk into any club, and make it just work if you apply those 3 things: service, excellence, and connection. Connection is especially key. I always talk about connection and connecting with other members. And we see a strong group here, right? Which means that is part of the invisible journey. It doesn't happen in the meetings. That sort of leadership is invisible. It's like the bottom 9/10 of an iceberg. The tip is, of course, this meeting here. That's all. But everything else that I'm talking about, the invisibility, is 9/10 is an iceberg, right? The Thursday trainings, the committee members doing the silent work and training people, the service excellence and connection that we bring to the club, totally under the water level, below. So this club is not only built on agendas, it is built on people investing in people. That's right. It is people investing in people. That is the key thing that's made us survive and be one of the top clubs globally. And we insist that we serve each other. So if you're a guest here, join up and learn more about serving and becoming a leader and standing out as a leader who is becoming better self-directed. This is the club where you do it. All right. Next. So, of course, any journey, and everything is a journey, by the way, right? Mastery is never achieved. It is an ongoing journey. And it's part of, when we honor this journey today, it will form a foundation for the next level, which is coming up next year. Next year, we want to make sure that we build a legacy and legacy leaders, people who will actually take this club forward into the future, for the foreseeable future. So if any of you turn up here 5 years down the road, the club will still be there strong. Right? And so leadership is not about what we received, but what we will pass forward. That is part of the journey, passing things forward. It's like a relay race. You know, you come to the next runner, you pass the baton on, and the next runner takes the baton and starts running, right, for their part. And then they will pass the baton on. That's what it is. That's what leadership is all about. It is passing the torch, it's passing the baton on to the next person, and that creates legacy. And that is part of honoring the journey. And you can see the legacy right now here in this club. If I look at the screen, we have 37 people in the room. That includes quite a lot of guests who keep coming back and who are here and who are willing to, some of you will be joining soon. So thank you very much. And last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, gratitude. I'm grateful that you're all here. And this is not a generic gratitude, right? Like I'm grateful and whatever, but it's the gratitude about the challenges that we've faced or the challenges that we may face, right? The gratitude for overcoming those things that stood in the way, the gratitude for the feedback that we received and the feedback that we are willing to give, and naming that elephant in the room, right? The accountability, the opportunities, and people who believed in you, people who believed in me, people that believe in each other in this group as a community. I'm grateful for that. And we should all be grateful for that because that really honors the journey that we're on. With that, ladies and gentlemen, it is more than a celebration, as the Holmes said, and we are honoring the journey of all of you here. I mentioned only a few of the players in the club. There's a lot more, but I only had a limited amount of time. The red light is on. So, Mr. TMOD, Mr. President, Holmes, Teng, over to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, our educational speaker, Brahm. After listening to Brahm, we'd also like to hear from some of our members who have prepared approximately 3 to 5 minutes to share what does growth mean to them. What are some of the journeys they have went through? We will have 3 speakers today. Our first speaker is Joyce Kibe. I would like to invite her evaluator, Iris Castellina, to introduce the project which Joyce is doing. Iris, are you available, Iris?
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests and friends. It's an honor for me today to introduce our Toastmaster Joyce Kibe. She's speaking from the Pathway Dynamic Leadership, and her speech title for today is A Journey of Growth, Grit, and Leadership. When I asked our distinguished Joyce Kibe of what she wanted me to focus on, she asked me to particularly focus on 2 aspects. Number 1, her tone variation, and last but not least, the Zoom presence. So I'll be evaluating her for today, and I'll pay particular attention to those 2 aspects of her speech. Thank you very much. Back to you, TMOD Holmes.
Thank you, Iris. Our speaker, Joyce Kibe, is a professional banker specializing in finance and credit. Joyce is a passionate mentor and coach both within and beyond Toastmasters, empowering individuals to grow in confidence and leadership. Joyce Kibe, a journey of growth, grit, and leadership. A journey of growth, grit, and leadership Joyce, Kibe. Over to you.
Today, I am filled with gratitude, not just of completing the distinguished dynamic leadership pathway, but what started as a spark, idea, curiosity, and desire to grow has transformed into a flame of confidence, purpose, and leadership. When I began this pathway, I did not realize leadership is not about titles, about positions, or even being loudest in a room, but rather it begins quietly within. It starts as a spark, a willingness to improve oneself and to step out of the comfort zone. Along the pathway, I encountered obstacles that made me ask myself, why? Or am I really a good leader? At a certain time, I called for an EXCO meeting, and guess what? Nobody showed up. I tried making those calls, and nobody picked. I sat down and I asked myself, Joyce, are you really a leader? But in each challenge, it became a fuel. Each speech that I took, project, evaluation, added strength to that spark. I learned leadership is about influence and not authority. It's about listening deeply, giving others gently, and setting an example. Walk the talk, as Memone always tells us. Taking up those roles, taking up those speeches, and doing things the right way, and completing a pathway like I am doing today. Leading is not about perfection, it's about progress. It is showing up even when it is not comfortable, and checking the growth over fear. One of the greatest lessons that I carry in leadership is personal. Everyone has a unique way of how they lead, unique perspective, but in everything is just to be very authentic. It has also taught me to lead as myself. Another key thing that I have learned over the journey of leadership is about resilience. Leadership is not a straight path. Every leader obtains, or rather faces, obstacles, setbacks, and unforeseen circumstances. But in all this, that's where the flame burns best. Most importantly to note is that leadership is not a journey of soul. We need mentorship, we need connections, we need community. And as I reflect in completing the pathways, this is not just the end, but just the beginning. The flame must continue, and it must continue to spread and to inspire. And so I ask myself every single day, what kind of a leader do I want to be remembered for? I want to be a leader who empowers others, a leader who shows and owns a spark of the others to believe in their own potential, a leader who leads with empathy and acts with purpose, who embraces challenges and opportunities, who leads with integrity and authenticity, because true leadership is not how far you have come, but how many people you have lifted along the way. Today, I just don't celebrate completion, but transformation from spark to flame. And as I look forward and carry the flame, this is not just for myself, but for those I lead. those I serve, and those I hope to inspire in future. TMOD.
Thank you, Joyce. And here I take another moment to speak to the most important people in the meeting room, our guest. As you continue to experience our club, the celebrative moments, the growth that members as well as leaders will be sharing, put yourself also in the shoes of such growth. Visualize yourself having such growth. And perhaps you may also find that one of the wise choices you will make, is having signed the guest book. PR Master, please. Let me invite the next speaker, Nicole Whyte, and her evaluator, Tony Bradshit, to introduce the project which Nicole is doing, the speech which Nicole is doing. Tony.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, fellow Toastmasters, and most welcome guests. In my discussions with Nicole, our next speaker, she has explained that her project, her presentation, is another theme speech, which is honoring the journey. And in the discussions, Nicole asked me to look for three things, which I will put into question form. And this is something for all of us to consider as Nicole presents her theme speech. The questions are, did Nicole communicate the message she intended? So we have to understand the message. Did she do so in an authentic, natural voice? And Nicole was very strong about this. She wants to come across naturally. And did Nicole establish a meaningful connection with you, with us, the audience? So these are the three things to consider. How did Nicole come across, and did she do it effectively and personally with authenticity? Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Tony. Nicole says this about the meeting team. One of her core beliefs is that people's contributions should always be recognized and celebrated. And that is why she is so aligned with this spectacular and well-needed meeting team. Nicole Whyte, the courage to fly. The courage to fly. Nicole Whyte, over to you.
I recently read a poem by Australian poet Erin Hansen, and the single line completely stopped me in my tracks. It's a line that balances a universal human doubt, and it also balances against a brilliant spark of possibility. Asking, what if I fall? Before gently reminding us, oh, but my darling, what if you fly? Flashback to a year and a half ago thereabout, I stood at that exact edge. I was longing to continue my Toastmasters journey. I was also looking for new challenges. That's after a few years of a break. Craving to expand my wings and flex my leadership muscles. I knew I had to leap. I knew that leap I wanted was more challenges. That leap brought me right into this extraordinary advanced Toastmaster community, Leadership Speak. A place where the standards remain. You heard Brahm said it earlier. It's connection, it's excellence and service. One of our core mandates here is to become better self-directed leaders. Admittedly, that concept stretched my imagination and compelled me to view leadership through a completely different lens. So my stretch and my horizons instantly widened. Yes, my leadership skills expanded in meaningful, unexpected directions. I found myself exercising greater patience, refining my listening skills, and learning to embrace diverse perspectives. After all, we are a global powerhouse with members logging in from, at some point, over 30 different countries. Woo! Being a part of this premier community means contributing to excellence. And because I am deeply committed to championing that standard, I knew I had to lead by example. Now, leading by example, it pushes us to move out of our comfort zone, go outside. Years ago, my friend Sashani Stone, who is actually here in our virtual room today, Sashani, let them see you. She introduced a mantra that never left me. She shared with our fellow colleagues, including myself, that we need to get uncomfortable if we wanted to achieve our goals. Sashani, I took that advice, my dear friend. I took it to heart. Stepping into the role of Vice President of Education was my ultimate step outside of my comfort zone. Serving in this role for the past year has been rewarding. Not always smooth, but you and I know a little turbulence is just part of flying, right? It goes far beyond just filling roles. Brahm mentioned it earlier too. And it's beyond handling the logistics in order to achieve a well-run meeting. It's about creating a launch pad for transformation. When you're managing the educational goals of an advanced club, you're orchestrating a global masterclass across multiple time zones. And I quickly learned that true leadership isn't about what I can control. Yep. It's about collaboration, connection, community, and continual learning. Every time a member completed a level, gave a high-performance leadership speech, or conquered these new pathway requirements, gosh, I felt a shared sense of pride. Thank you for trusting me with your educational journeys. And in return, you helped me master the art of people-centered leadership. Please look around this virtual room today. Today's celebration is a testament to what happens when brilliant minds commit to intentional growth. And to our first-time visitors and returning guests, you might be looking on and contemplating. I hear the question, what if I fall? I challenge you to leap anyway. I promise you, there are no regrets here. Only lessons, growth, and a global family waiting to cheer you on. My fellow self-directed leaders, can you please, if you agree with me, go ahead and flood the chat, let them see. Just type the words, no regrets, and you'll see the power of this room as those messages flood the chat. And my fellow distinguished colleagues, as my tenure as your VP of Education comes to a close, I am grateful for a phenomenal year. So here's to another year of spectacular success as we forge together and continue to remain on top globally, top tier. Continue to show the world exactly what happens when we choose to fly. So I leave everyone with the same question that so perfectly captures this journey. What if you fall? Oh, my darlings, what if you fly? So go ahead, light up the screen with your flying emojis, airplane, eagle, whatever you choose, and let's soar together. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Nicole. Our third speaker is Vinod, Panicker, who will be evaluated by Wahiga Gichinga. I'd like to invite Wahiga to introduce the speech which Vinod is doing.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Vinod is taking a level 3 elective speech, focus on the positive. The purpose of his speech is for him to practice being aware of his thoughts and feelings, as well as the impact of his responses on others. He asked me to check if his speech connects with the audience or if I personally connect with the speech. All the best, Vinod, and back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Our speaker, Vinod, 11 years in Toastmasters, works as a sales director for a packaging company in Dubai, and a proud and happy charter member of Leadership Speak. Vinod, Panicker, the best is yet to be. The best is yet to be. Vinod, Panicker. Over to you.
Do you remember the first day you attended Leadership Speak? Raise your hands if you do. Let me see how many of you can remember. For 10 seconds, just relive that moment. Because I want you to not only remember why you joined Toastmasters or Leadership Speak, but why are you continuing in Leadership Speak? And that is what my speech is all about, why I joined and why I continue to be part of this amazing, lovely family. Put your hands down, everyone. Thank you very much. February 10th, I think the date is right, 2022, was the date of the first demo meeting for Leadership Speak. Brahm can correct me on that. And the only reason I joined that meeting was I saw Pat Johnson, our past president, on the flyer. And I love her speeches because she's the only one Toastmasters in the entire Toastmaster fraternity who makes sense when she speaks about corporate Toastmasters. All other Toastmasters, whenever they speak about corporate Toastmasters, they blend the community and corporate and don't understand the needs. So as soon as I saw Pat Johnson, I joined. I attended the meeting, and then the meeting was world class. But the second thing that was world class was within 24 hours, I received a message. Did you like the meeting? I said yes. Would you like to be part of this? I said yes. And then my journey began. And the person who sent me that message was Brahm. And I loved it because that is something which I keep telling all the VP memberships across wherever I come. If you connect with a guest within 24 hours, the probability that they will join is much higher. The more you delay connection, the more the probability is they will not join. And from that day, since that day, I have been member. And the reason why I have been member is because of this amazing community. A community of learners, a community of leaders, and a community of people who want to give more. As mentioned by many of the Toastmasters, it is an experienced Toastmasters club. So when I joined, I saw a lot of DTMs, right? And to me, whenever you become a distinguished Toastmaster, the attitude becomes like, don't teach me. That's the attitude that usually a DTM has after several years. But in this club, it was different. All the experienced members, they were hungry to learn. And that is what drawn me in and kept it in this particular club. And then I keep thinking, what is it about this club that keeps members here glued? And recently I was reading a book which opened my eyes, and I will evaluate the club through that particular book. And the book is called The Three Box Solution by Dr. Vijay Govindraj. Now, it is considered as one of the best books for strategy, leadership, and innovation. And Leadership Speak has got all three of that. Now, what the three boxes are, let me explain first. Box 1 is managing your present. Box 2 is selectively erasing the past. And box 3 is creating the future. Majority of the clubs will spend time in box 1, that is managing the present. Just to conduct a meeting, the entire energy goes of the club excom. That is managing the present. Managing the selectively erasing the future. We remove table topics from our meetings just because it was not serving our leadership speaks motto. So we evaluate and we kept removing what was not helping building leaders. And the third is we actively build our club through committees, through practice meeting. The committee has got a trainer, the trainer has got a trainer, and there are so many people spread all across just to make sure this one meeting is perfect. So when I looked through that, so we do not create a club process or a process, we are building a system which takes care of present, a system which is erasing what's not working, and a system that is building our future leaders. And finally, what Brahm mentioned, leadership speak is a bull. So Roy Verdon, our Toastmaster, says that in California, there is a mountain. And whenever there is a storm, the bulls turn towards the storm and runs into it. Leadership Speak does the same. We pick up challenges, and as a team, we go together and face that storm. I will end with a story which my manager told me once. He said, Vinod, 30 years ago, I worked for a chemical company, one of the biggest companies in India. And the newsletter at that time used to be from the managing director, and it only had one line every year. Every year, only one line from the board of directors message desk. And the line was, the best is yet to come. And that is what I feel Leadership Speak is all about. Holmes, Nicole, and the current executive team, you have made it sure that legacy will continue. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Vinod. We have completed the speeches for today, and here I'd like to invite the timer to post the timing on the meeting chat, as well as the Zoom master to launch the best effort speaker poll. Members and guests, as you continue to vote, we will now move into the awards and recognition section. This part took a little toll on me because I didn't want this meeting to be 10 hours long. There were so many things that I'm appreciating for, I'm very appreciative for, and I want to recognize the different efforts that members have put in, including some of our ex-members who have decided not to renew with us for the current term, but previously had a lot of commitments in the club. I have narrowed down to a few key aspects. The first is those who have served in committees, including the executive committee, as well as many, many subcommittees. This will be the first aspect of the recognitions and awards. Then, I will also recognize some members whom had outstanding commitments, outstanding growth in the club, which inspired me. And thirdly, which is the longest list, the educational awards. And I'll also announce then what is our current number of educational goals that we have achieved to date. The first set. Here I recognize, and I'm very thankful for my executive team members, starting with Nicole, Whyte. With Brahm, yes, Brahm has already rightfully recognized some of her key achievements. She not only continued the high standards of the club in the educational committee, the most challenging, operationally as well as tactically most challenging aspects of the club, but she also improved the standards, further systemized the things. And she did all this while keeping in very clear mind that the heart of everything we do is about the members. She spent an extraordinary amount of time connecting with different members, especially the trainers, the VP of Ed committee members, to ensure that things continue to run and run in a way that is supporting the goals and the growth of our members. Thank you so much, Nicole Whyte, for your outstanding contributions. Another member, another ex-com team member that I want to emphasize is Irene Sadia. Irene took over the club SAA role when it was a one-man show by an extraordinarily committed member. I would have to emphasize that form of level of commitment and contribution would not be realistic for more than 98% of Toastmasters. Hence, from the very start when Irene took over, I told her, one of your key tasks is to build a team. And she is successful. So for transforming and starting the club SAA role into an SAA committee to put a system in place, the growth that she achieved, which has a strong foundation which future executive committees can carry on. I thank Irene, I recognize Irene for her outstanding service. The other executive team members, which I also want to recognize, is Terence Tubi. Terence was in charge of our PR committee, where he had painstakingly ensured that each and every week we had brochures, we had marketing materials. And he was also one of the key people who implanted in me a very clear idea that the most outstanding PRs of a club is that every single member become ambassador. This is a vision which I'm aware not only the current but also the incoming executive team will be striving for. For his service and for his visions, I recognize Terence. Thank you so much, Terence. Gilda, our current as well as continuing secretary. She has kept the club grounded in key standards, sometimes chasing me quite hard too, to ensure that some of the key things are continued. She not only served as club secretary, but also stepped up, initiated herself to become part of the subcommittee member, as a subcommittee member, for example, as a grammarian trainer, for the dedicated service that she has offered us and will continue to offer us in the midst of the growth that I'm sure she will continue to gain. I recognize Gilda Shlah. Tony, one of the, if I may say, hidden members of the XCOM. Had I not been an XCOM member, I wouldn't know the amount of effort, the amount of work, the amount of thinking that Tony's put behind the scene. He is our club parliamentarian. As far as I know, it's going to be a 4th year in running. Our club values standards. our club is firm and serious about compliance. This is how we ensure continuity. And we have one member here, Tony. He's a lawyer. He's a former district governor, whom we call district director. And he's also well sought after in multiple districts for his expertise. Hence, I'm very proud and very thankful that Tony is here and will continue to be here to safeguard some of our most important standards and expectations ahead. Thank you so much, Tony.
Thank you.
Of course, we must recognize, I'm recognizing him in the stance of an immediate past club president, but he's also our incoming president. He holds, Brahm holds the vision. He's our torch bearer. He sets the direction and he continues to inspire all of us. And as immediate past president for the term of 2025 and 2026, behind the scenes, I can confirm that he continues to be present when members reach out to him, when leaders reach out to him. He continues to guide us. He continues to coach us. And all this big value, he does it in love, in service, and in good hopes that all of us here as members, and even the guests who have yet to join the club, most probably will join soon, all benefits from the things that we have here. For all this service in love that you have given us. Thank you, Brahm. I also like to recognize some of our outstanding as well as dedicated members of our subcommittees. The first is Jyoti Thomas, which I will also announce that she has the highest pathway completion for this year, and she's also had outstanding engagement and contributions to the subcommittee as the person who is looking after the theme of the meeting, the write-up of the meeting, week after week. Sometimes I'm aware in her time zone at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., she's working with the different TMODs so that the TMOD is aware what are our club standards, what are our club vision for each meeting. It's always about leadership and how we view leadership in a way that's self-directed at high standards. For all these contributions, I recognize Jyoti Thomas. And for the two precedent citations, I will also briefly want to invite the two citations for some time to speak to us. Jyoti, Zoom Master, could you spotlight Jyoti, please? Jyoti. Yes, Jyoti. Share with us what got you to be so motivated, so dedicated to leadership speak. Jyoti.
Well, initially when we started, what got me motivated was the challenge. There are times, the first few months, I said, no, I'm going. But then after that, it's exactly the bull story. I decided to turn around. I think after some time, it becomes a habit. It's not about what we're learning, nothing like that. It turned out to be just a habit. Awards just follow, excellence led the way. And I think that I stayed on because honestly, it's because of the leadership family. I have some phenomenal people who have always been there, and that's the interest.
I'm just wondering whether your answer will be repetitive if I ask, what about your pathways? The number which I will announce later is phenomenal. You want to say anything else on the pathways?
Honestly, I didn't count at all. This time, I took off in a different way. I saved all the path and I said, if I have to, but I started brand ambassadoring myself as District 86 Leadership Speak over the oceans. And I was only concentrating on HPLs, my DTM. I connected both the worlds and my entire vision was there. But I kept doing it, like it was almost like my daily bread. I would wake up, there's no way I would not sit and look at what I had to do. Completed it, but there was no competition. I really didn't. And you know what I did last evening. So I had to wake up everybody and say, I'm submitting. So I want to, again, I'm grateful. I'm so delighted. I have a couple of people here who are always there by my side. They'll be smiling now. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jyoti. It's a pleasure to have you here, and I look forward to continuing to celebrate the growth and the achievements of soon-to-be distinguished Toastmaster, Jyoti Thomas.
Thank you. Thank you, President Holmes.
The second precedent citation is Nelly Jane L. Galido. Nelly Jane is one of the more recent groups of members that joined Leadership Speak. However, her contributions to the educational committee, which I'd already said is the hardest and the most complicated, has been outstanding. She has taken the role of allocating roles. Members and guests, in case you forgot or you are not aware yet, we have, in most meetings, 20 or more roles. This means in and out, talking to 20 people or more people. And hey, remember, we're all human beings. There are things that happen in our lives. And sometimes this unfortunately causes us to slip at some of our commitments. And when it comes to Nelly Dane has to manage all the things that are ongoing while learning the ropes of what a vice president of education do, supporting Nicole Whyte in the various tracking. If I may say on behalf of Nicole manages to focus on the tactical and some of the strategic issues in a large part, because Nelly Jane is supporting her on all the operationals as well as some of the tactical issues. By the way, guests, if you get confused about the words operational, tactical, and strategic, it just means it's time for you to consider joining the club, yeah? So yes, I also like to take a short moment to hear from Nelly Jane. Zoom Master, would you do me the favor of spotlighting Nelly, please? Nelly Jane. Hello, Nelly Jane.
Hi, Holmes.
Let me see. Should I say what of Leadership Speak charmed you that you are spending so much time, including midnights and days and so many hours on Leadership Speak? We got at our highest moment somewhere around 60 members, now about 40. We have members of wide, diverse profiles and personality. Why are you still here?
Well, leadership made me the person I once needed. That's it.
And what are you looking forward in the upcoming year?
For the upcoming year, I want more members to become like me, more members to step forward, more members to become a self-directed ones. So what are you waiting for, guys? Come here at Leadership Speak. Say yes. Say yes to leadership speak, say yes to a role, to a speech. One day, you will really look back and realize that that yes was the decision, the best decision that will change you. It does to me. It will be on you.
Thank you so much. And I look forward to your continued service, Nella Jane, as the incoming Vice President of Education-elect. Wonderful. I'll continue with the rest of the awards, recognitions, and awards. The next series of leaders I want to recognize are our members who are very active in serving in the various subcommittees. Paramjit Singh, one of the trainers. For this next series of awards, I will not go into details of what they have done. I encourage members as well as guests, reach out to them, ask them about their journeys, and I'm sure you will also be inspired. I note here that I put subcommittee with a apostrophe in S for the next series of certificates. This is because some of them, well, the club formally recognizes them as part of a subcommittee's members. For example, subcommittee of education, subcommittee of PR, subcommittee of SAA or membership. Their actual contributions have spread across multiple committees, and at various times, some of them have even served in 2 or more committees. Hence, the president mentions Paramjit Singh, Sonia Med, Gada Amujakish, Gilda Felix, Hannah Smith, Alice W. Gichinga, which we commonly call her Wahiga, Lydia Wanjiku, who is also our VPM-elect, Nelly Ayodo B, Nokawe F. Ramon R. Rivero, which we commonly call Ray. There are a few members which falls into the category that Brahm alluded to. Sometimes we have silent members and contributions behind the scenes. There is a set of them that I especially want to appreciate for your guidance to the many members, myself included. And many of them, I would also say, I have benefited from them because they have raised to me views that I disagreed with and challenged me to think harder, think deeper, and think more carefully about the decisions I'm making. For the commitment and dedication that the members have, I wish to recognize that. Atu Varanasi, Efran F. Faruqi, Robin F. Stone, who can miss out? Rosie Minia Rana, our dear Rosie. As Brahm also mentioned, Sandra Valks. There are 2 that I recognize of the excellent growth they are taking. And this doesn't just come from, hey, I want to do something, let's see how things go on. No, that's not how things work. They are dedicated in their speeches, they spend time, they spend effort, they reach out to fellow members as coaches, as mentors. And guys, this is one of the things when I said leadership speak will not spoon feed you. We will challenge you, but we won't spoon feed you. These 2 members especially, they made the effort to reach out to multiple members, asking them, help me, give me feedback, mentor me. And from that process, they also gained a lot. The two members which I want to recognize are Helene Amok, as well as Marie Cousine. Good job, both of you. Now I will move on to the next series of awards and recognitions that is based on educational achievement. You may all have expected what is the first name that would come out. Jyoti Thomas for educational levels, which is equivalent to 3 full pathways. Members and guests, if you were to observe your own community clubs especially, sometimes the averages of some clubs falls into the 0 point something. And here we have Jyoti, 3 full pathways, setting the bar for us. Thank you so much, Jyoti. And she is a major contribution to the number I will announce at the end of this segment. For members that have achieved at least 3 levels submitted to Leadership Speak, the Excellence Award that is presented here will have a triple crown, little badge around. I would have loved to also have a physical badge, but aligned with our club, we will keep everything online. So here is your big badge. Please pin it somewhere electronically. Let me continue with the triple crowns. This is for me, and I have the signatory Nicole Whyte. Thank you, Nicole Whyte, for 6 levels. Nokawe for 5 levels. Irfan for 4 levels. Kanaf for 3. Gada 3 levels. Marie Cousine 3 levels. Singh 3 levels. Ramon R. Rivero 3 levels. Yuseli Joseph 3 levels. And I do want to take a little pause here to say, I notice and I'm well aware that the timing of this meeting is still within the year of 2025 and 2026. We also have a members only meeting that's coming in the next 24 hours. So the number of Triple Crown could increase. Let me also recognize members who have contributed to our educational awards in some of the smaller ways. Atu Varanasi for 2 levels. Brahm for 2 levels. Francois G. Bowen for 2 levels. Gilda Shlah for 2 levels. Gilda Felix for 2 levels. Hannah Smith for 2 levels. Mariam Zadevi for 2 levels. Nicole Whyte, Vinod Panicker for 2 Helene for 1 level. Iris Castellana for 1 level. Wahiga Gichinga for 1 level. Angela Brown for 1 level. Arouna for 1 level. EJ McDowell for 1 level. Jennifer Gosh for 1 level. Joyce Kibe, 1 level. Lydia Wanjiku, 1 level. Nelly Ayodo, 1 level. Nelly Jane Galido, 1 level. The late Nicole T. Miller Douglas, 1 level. Pokit Gupta, 1 level. Rashmi Udeshi, 1 level. Rosie Rana, 1 level. Sandra Valks, 1 level. And those who are counting, that leads us to a total of 83 levels for this Toastmasters year. And I want to say this in the context that this was despite Toastmasters International giving a major update to the Toastmasters pathway of adding requirements, the educational series. And many of our members not only spoke actively at this club, but also find opportunities across Toastmasters International, using their personal and Toastmasters network to achieve all these educational achievements. My stress is not on the numbers, as I've said since my first speech as president-elect. My focus is the quality of growth. And I can affirm and assure everyone here that behind those levels, be it a single level, 2 levels, or the 15 levels which Jyoti Thomas has achieved, is growth, is commitment, is their sweat and their tears behind the scenes as they work through all the things that's going on in their lives so that they become better, self-directed leaders. We have 83 goals now. Based on what I know, it's going to go up some more.
Absolutely.
And I was subsequently announced in the club announcements what is the final that we have when Toastmasters International updates it. Look forward, everyone. And for those who are still waiting for their mouse to click, you completed your levels, please go to Basecamp and submit them. Nicole, Whyte, and I are available. Text us, we will approve it. Yes, Nicole?
Keep me busy. Yes, I love it. I see. Yes. Don't wait until the system crash until the last minute. Please avoid that last day because all these club will be scampered to submit. So get them as you mark it, as you're finished, just submit and I'm there. Yes, Jyoti kept me busy this week. Home. Everyone, thank you. I like being busy for this purpose. Yes, let's go.
Thank you so much, Nicole. With this, I have come to the end of our awards segment. Members and guests, despite this being a celebrative moment, one of our key highlights of Leadership Speak is that we always have evaluators around. So even today, as I'm leading the celebrations, even I get evaluated. And here, I do want to affirm, whether it is a celebrative moment, whether it's the high or the low moments, leaders, self-directed leaders, one of the things that we will continue to learn is that everything we do has an impact on the people around us. And that also means there are always better ways, there are always room for improvement in whatever that we do. Hence, my decision and my affirmation that even during celebrations, we will have evaluators, we will hear from the evaluators, and collectively, we will learn from each other's experience. Leading us through this evaluation section is our General Evaluator, Gilda Shlah. Gilda, as I mentioned, is one of the key people that's holding our club standards and pushing us forward. Our continuing secretary, Madam G.E., over to you.
Thank you, our president, Toastmaster of the Day, our GOAT, the greatest of all time, Holmes. Hello, members, self-directed leaders, and honorable guests. As a general evaluator, it's my pleasure to fly high today as our VP Education, Nicole Whyte. She gave us permission to fly today because we are celebrating our achievements. But this celebration is not to make us sit back and relax. At leadership, it's a motivation to excel. Like our president said, this is a challenge for our growth, continuous growth. As a general evaluator today, we will have distinguished evaluators to evaluate speeches. And I will call the role players, the timer, and the grammarian for their reports and give my general evaluation or feedback for the whole meeting. I will start with the evaluators with a note to each one of them. Today, you are evaluating the speakers against the learning objective of their projects, rather against the common project objective. This is what our president wanted us to do today because it's a celebration day today. So we, the evaluator, will consider and will watch for the growth of the speakers. Our first evaluator is Hannah Schmidt. She will evaluate our toast deliver Nelly Jane. Hannah Schmidt, the stage is yours to evaluate the toast.
Madam General Evaluator, Toastmasters guests, and Nelly Jane. Indeed, as you said, General Evaluator, we are motivated and we shall stay distinguished. Nelly Jane, acknowledging the people we work with was your main message in your toast. Your personal story reminded me that every journey is shaped by the people who support us, encourage us, challenge us, and believe in us. Often, we focus so much on reaching the destination that we forget to focus or appreciate the small steps, the struggles we overcome, and the growth that happens along the way to become distinguished. And we often fail to notice our own transformation. Your toast aligned with the day's theme and your smile emphasized that honoring the journey truly guides us towards being distinguished. With your warmth, you invited us to raise our glasses, unmute, and toast together. Every step, every lesson, and every person who shared the path with us has contributed to the story we are still writing, becoming, and staying distinguished. Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you. Thank you, Hannah, for your evaluation, supportive evaluation. And yes, Nelly Jane, we are still writing. Our second evaluator is Sandra Boak, and she will be evaluating our Toastmaster of the Day. Our Toastmaster of the Day, our President, Holmes Teng. The stage is yours, Toastmaster Sandra, for your feedback.
Thank you so much. Isn't this exciting? How big are the shoulders for Holmes to have me evaluating? Holmes, you asked me to watch for the clear messaging, which you always give. You really give a lot of thought to what you're doing. And empathy and context of celebration and inspiring. Aced it. Absolutely aced it. I'm so proud of you. And you are encouraging us for the journey to come. That's wonderful. Now, I wanted to just say at this last meeting, you're so upbeat and celebratory. That's a challenge because you're leaving as the president as well. You know, that this has been your baby you've carried for a year, and then to be able to celebrate and moving forward, that is who we have with us. Holmes, you were smiling, you're relaxed, and you were you. And I know I was one of those that got at you at the very beginning saying, stop that, click, 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 march, 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 do this, do that. Turn around, talk to us straight. Your shoulders have been so broad over the whole year, and I know I've been a challenge, but I guess that's it. I breathe, therefore I challenge. So you stopped acting like the boss and you started acting like the project manager. That was beautiful. And you've developed into smiles and sincerity and generosity and guidance and friendship, and I'm pleased. I know I've challenged you, and you've always met that challenge and my feedback with respect and curiosity. You've never just dismissed me, which I don't dismiss well, but you've never done that to me. You've always come back with curiosity, like, why are you saying that, Sandra? What's that about? Where are your thoughts coming from? And I really appreciate the ability to be having big enough shoulders to be able to allow for that. In that way, I do honor your distinguished journey. I congratulate you as well, because you put it out here very straight, very clear to us, that celebration is not the end. Celebration is not the end. It's the start of new growth. And that goes for every one of us. And so absolutely you uplifted us even as you're exiting. And I'm with Brahm. You very well keep yourself in here in the meetings. Or you'll have to buy 2 tickets for us to get to see more. Thank you so much for all of your guidance and all your strength, your courage to grow and not be diminished in any way with that. Thank you. It's been an honor. Back to you, Gilda.
Thank you. Thank you, Sandra, for this well-deserved feedback to our broad shoulder who carried each one of us for the whole year. And yes, you are continuing with us. You're not taking a break. We're not giving you a break. You are a member of Leadership Speak. We don't take a break. And you know it. You set the standard. Thank you, Sandra, for this feedback.
And I'm sorry I have to leave as well, so I don't want to look rude, but I definitely wanted to be here for Holmes and the club and the celebrations. So thank you, everyone. See you next.
Thank you. Thank you for your contribution, continuous contribution, Sandra. You go ahead.
Thank you.
Our third evaluator is Arouna, and he will be evaluating our educational speaker, Brahm. Arouna, the stage is all yours.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Brahm's project was about prepare to speak professionally from presentation mastering level 5, project 1. He decided to deliver a speech as a keynote, sharing the message with a style that supports his speech content. I will deliver my evaluation in 3 parts. First of all, I will start my evaluation on how Brahm has achieved his goal. And secondly, suggestion in terms of improvement, and I will hand my evaluation by a general assessment. First of all, Brahm, the title of your speech, Honoring the Journey, which is also the theme of this meeting, was related to the content of your speech. Your message was clear from the beginning to the end, and we were able to hear you from the beginning from the beginning to the end of your speech. And I love the way you deliver your speech by starting by a question: how can we be honoring the journey? You grabbed the attention of the audience to focus on what you will be sharing at the very beginning of your speech. I also really loved the interaction you made with the audience by calling some members to give their feedback. Thank you, Brahm, for reminding us the objective of Leadership Speak, being self-directed leaders. What does it mean? During the first part of your speech, you gave us the meaning of the essence of our club. Being self-directed leaders is not about numbers of speeches delivered, but how much you have grown through the journey. Leadership speak is not about only investing in meeting, it's about investing in people. To deliver your speech in 22 minutes and 47 seconds. That is a long speech. And Brahm, your Zoom presence and your end gesture were also good. From the beginning until the end of your speech, you were at the middle of the screen. I love the way you use your hands, especially when you spoke about the next level of leadership speak. Based on that, Brahm, you have reached the objective of your project. Congratulations on that. In terms of improvement, I have just two suggestions. First of all, recalling the takeaways of the message at the end of your presentation. And when you are delivering long speeches, it's always good to have PowerPoint presentation to support your message. And overall, Brahm, you delivered an excellent keynote presentation. Of course, you are distinguished Toastmasters. And for the next time, try to end your speeches with takeaways and use presentation document to support your message. Back to you, Madam G.
Thank you for your evaluation, Arouna. I like the grammarian to watch. This was a distinguished evaluation from Arouna. Thank you. Now we go to the prepared speeches. The first evaluator is Aries, who will evaluate our first speaker, Joyce Kibe. The stage is all yours, Aries.
Congratulations, Toastmaster Joyce Kibe. Your presentation was distinguished. The moment that you start reflecting your dynamic leadership pathway, as you came on the stage, I could see presence and the confidence on your presentation. The content of your presentation was insightful and educational. As you reflect on your journey, it reminded me that no journey is free of challenges, but the growth and the learnings that come along the way are worthwhile. Zoom presence. I could see you moving to the left and to the right. This maintain a strong visual presence. I could see you use your body and your gestures in alignment with your message. This is good to see. In terms of the tone variation, the second aspect was me to look at. The level of tone you used, the voice variation was music to my ears, and it was in alignment also with your message. So good Zoom presentation and also good tone variation. So great work. One recommendation that I have, as you delivered your speech, you occasionally looked down, suggesting that you are looking at your notes. Even though this didn't distract the audience from your speech, it's something that you want to be aware of, as we want to make sure that we are paying attention to what you're saying and maintaining an eye contact with your audience is critical to make sure that the audience remains engaged. In conclusion, great speech. We delivered the expectations in terms of tone variation and also Zoom presence. We're in a journey of continuous improvement to be distinguished speakers. So I encourage you to take the learnings, and I'm excited to see you in your next presentation. Looking forward to your next speech. Thank you very much. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Aries, for your support and your evaluation. Our third evaluator is Tony. Tony, you've got the hard responsibility. You are evaluating the speech of Nicole Whyte. The stage is all yours, Tony.
Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and guests, and Nicole. Nicole, you wanted to leave us with a message of growth, experience, and inspiration. And I'll focus my evaluation on the 3 questions that I posed during the introduction before your speech. Did I hear a story of growth? Yes. Your speech took us on a journey. So rather than simply telling us about courage, you allowed us to experience your growth. And by the title, The Courage to Fly, I felt this was earned rather than simply announced. So it was a meaningful journey. Did you do so in an authentic, natural voice? Well, Nicole, one strength I noticed was that your voice became more authentic whenever you spoke about your personal experience. So those moments sounded completely natural and drew us into your journey. Nicole, did you establish a meaningful connection with the audience? Yes, through your eye contact, your smiles, and your emotional engagement, which was you. Now, your audience, we, the connection was strongest when you invited to see ourselves in your journey rather than simply observing yours. But again, this was a journey of togetherness. Now, if I could offer one suggestion, it would be to mirror your journey. So in your presentation, I suggest you slow down slightly at the emotional high points, such as the time of the personal challenges that you explained to us during the year that you were VP of Education. So as you paused in your journey, pause in your speech at those moments in the journey, reflecting how you would catch your breath to reinvigorate your effort. So giving those moments just 1 or 2 extra seconds would allow us, the audience, to absorb those moments before you move forward. Now, Nicole, courage is often described as taking the first step despite uncertainty. That's courage, right? So today, your speech, Courage to Fly, demonstrated not only courage, but growth, authenticity, and the willingness to inspire others through your own experience that you shared with us. So I'll close with my 3 questions with 3 points. Thank you for reminding us that sometimes the greatest fight begins with simply believing you can leave the ground. Thank you for including us in your journey. And thank you for guiding us in our journey. Thank you, Nicole. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Tony, for your evaluation. And if I may add one more thank you to Nicole. Nicole, you reached the greatest of all time in your Zoom presence today. I took a picture of yours, and this should be a sample of how we should present ourselves here. Thank you. Thank you for your evaluation, Tony, as well. Our last but not least evaluator is Toastmaster Wahiga. and she will be evaluating Vinod's speech. Wahiga, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. The best is yet to come. A powerful speech at a moment when we are celebrating our wins so that we can tilt our heads, keep perspective, and set a new horizon. Vinod, you had a great audience engagement through your rhetorical questions and getting us to reminisce about our past experience as Toastmasters or as Leadership Speak members. You weaved yourself into our hearts today with your personal story of how you joined Leadership Speak by sharing your experience. And in sharing that experience, you really beat the drum of who Leadership Speak is. And that was music to our ears. You'd asked that I check if you connected with the audience. Now, here we were with you as we listened to who we are and what we have consistently been. And just to highlight a few things is people who are gathered together, accomplished in their own ways, but yet hungry to learn. I think that is a very good way to describe members of Leadership Speak. You weaved your story and demonstrated the good qualities of Leadership Speak through 3 points from a book that you referred to, and that gives you credibility and also helped you showcase who Leadership Speaks are and what they stand for. And like I say, it's a good time to showcase that, to remind us that as we step forward into the new era, what we start for, so that as we set our goals, then we can know what we cannot fall below. And so that is with us and that you have left with us. Now, part of your project was to record the attitudes, the successes, the efforts that you have seen in your journey, and which you did with Leadership Speak. And one aspect I was expecting to hear, and which I challenge you to do, is showcase your growth. What has growth been for you from going through such an experience, being a member of such a good club? What has that contributed to who you are? And listening to you today, it affirmed that yes, you're a sales director, because if somebody was in the room and is not a member of Leadership Speak, they definitely want to join, because yes, you told the world who we are. Great presentation, great vocal variety, audience awareness, and always a great speaker, Vinod, and looking forward to your next speech. Back to you, Gilda.
Thank you, Wahiga, and I do agree with you, and I like the way when you said sometimes when Vinod speak and many other speakers at our club, it is like music to our ears. Thank you for this comment. This will bring me to the end of the evaluation session. I would like to ask the print master or the Zoom master to put or post the poll for best effort evaluator. And while they do that, let me vote myself and submit, and then we'll go for the next things. And now let me ask the timer to post the time in the chat box. Thank you. Thank you, Gada. You already did. And now I'd like to invite to the stage our grammarian, Christina Hugh. Christina, can you give us your report? The stage is all yours.
Thank you. Now today, as the grammarian, the word of the day is distinguish. And a catch: 4 members using the word distinguish. Our president Holmes used the word distinguish. Nicole Whyte used the word distinguish in her speech. Sandra used distinguish in her evaluation, and Arouna used distinguish also in his evaluation. And let me start. I did not catch any wrong language use, and I must praise Nelly Jin for the wonderful phrase that she used. Leadership allow us to pause. And Brahm has a wonderful phrase saying people investing in people. And Joyce has two wonderful phrases that spark me, which is lead with integrity, from spark to flame. Nicole used two wonderful phrases, spread my wings, flex my muscles, lead forward, people-centered leadership. Back to you, GE.
Thank you, Christina, for your report. And now the last segment in my evaluation is the feedback, general feedback. Here at Leadership Speak, we don't start, we started on time, we're finishing on time, because this is our standard. We don't mention, we always start on time. The agenda is prepared. Today was exceptionally inspiring meeting with the speeches, with the evaluation, with the educational speech, with our Toastmaster starting the meeting, the awards. Everything was exceptionally excellent. I do have one comment to our educational speaker, Brahm. Your back screen is the old one with the wrong spelling of Premier. If you could update that, we will appreciate that. Everything was wonderful. I thank you for allowing me to be the general evaluator for this special meeting. And back to you, Toastmaster of the day, our president, Holmes. Teng.
Thank you so much, Madam GE. As we are approaching the last few segments of the meeting, I'd like to have Robin Stone, our thought of the day, to share with us his thoughts. Robin is a retired professional accountant and a Toastmaster for a third of his life. Every meeting to him is a learning experience, and he appreciates this meeting giving him the time to pause, to reflect, and reset. He says the journey continues. Robin, over to you.
Thank you so much, Holmes, for the introduction. And I just want to echo, I've said every meeting is a time of learning, and this meeting was no exception. It was really incredibly inspiring and a time of learning. So yes, the main themes like pausing and reflecting, where we come from, what have we learned? And I think most importantly, as Brahm was saying, what have we become? And what are we becoming? And knowing that this journey is not over. It's only over when it's over. And so what we have to remember, I think, is that the best is yet to be. And that's what we need to continuously strive for. The journey can be tough, and it is tough. I found the journey at Leadership Speak actually quite challenging, difficult, revealing about myself, but also great learning and great growth. This is what it's really all about. It's about being able to step into roles that makes one quite uncomfortable sometimes. not just doing what one can do sort of blindfolded, and actually taking those challenges, saying, yes, let's do it, as so many have in this club. So thank you once again for your leadership, Holmes. Thank you for the way that you've guided us and helped us achieve our own goals. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Robin. I'd like to invite the PR master to announce to us what is the voting outcomes of our best effort speaker as well as best effort evaluator. PR master, Irene. Best effort evaluator goes to Wahiga Gichinga. Congratulations, Wahiga. And our best effort speaker goes to Nicole Whyte. Congratulations, Nicole. Well done. And now I'd like to take a bit of time to invite some of the most important people in the meeting room, which is the guest, to interact and share with us some of your comments, some of your suggestions, if there are any. Guests, as I call upon you, if you are able, I would greatly appreciate if you can have your camera as well as your microphone on as much as possible. Muhammad Salihu Aliyu, are you available? Muhammad?
Good evening, Holmes.
Hi, Muhammad. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
How's this meeting for you?
It was inspiring. Of course, really inspiring.
Would you consider to be a member soon?
Very well soon. Because I'm already working on my schedules, and very soon I will talk to you about it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Muhammad. Do
You're
continue
welcome.
to visit us. We welcome you. Thank you so much, Muhammad.
And thank you for the chance and the opportunities. Thank you.
Sashini Stone, are you available? Sashini?
Yes, I am. Hi, President Holmes.
Hello, Sashini. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me.
How's the meeting for you?
As usual, exceptional. Every time I attend one of these meetings, I think about the engine behind being able to deliver such an amazing experience for your guests. I applaud the work that you all do, and I really enjoy being a part of your meetings.
Will you consider being with us as a member?
I consider it all the time. I consider it.
What's holding you back? Share with us.
I think I'm trying to simplify a few things in my life. I just last week completed my master's degree and just finishing up a few things, but I am actively seeking to find space in my life where I can be a part of and as engaging as this club would require.
First of all, congratulations for completing your master's. When I was doing mine, it was a struggle together with Toastmasters. I can imagine what are some of the things that you're going through. I am happy that some of the things that you are going through in your life is coming to a completion and you're looking at a new phase of life that's ahead. Yes, I greatly encourage you to sort out your time and find your space. And this club, I can confirm, is very demanding. At the same time, do note, the longer you wait, the further some of this self-directed leadership may slip away from you. So whenever you can, make the decision. The club is waiting. Thank you so much, Sashini. Let me see. Based on who we have on camera else. Mariam, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Mariam, it's been such a long time. Is it convenient for you to turn on your camera, Mariam?
Yes, of course. Just a minute, please. Yes. Yeah, actually, really happy to see you. I think so more than 5 months. Yeah, I missed all the meeting, and also regarding for the membership. Also, very soon I will be renew my membership because you know the situation actually not stable during all the things happening. Even my personality, I take care of them for my mother, and after happening so many things. But as soon as possible, because still I didn't reach my goals, which already I prepared to be in the leadership speed. I want to be one of the actually the why I'm here. I actually still I didn't answer myself because I need to work very hard. But as soon as possible, I renew. I think so less than a week or 2 weeks, I renew my membership, and I want to be active. Hopefully, really, that's it. And thank you so much. Even you mentioned about the two part already I finishing. Really, this make me surprised because I didn't accept. Already you mentioned my name, but again give me the courage. I need to finish, and I want to be in the stage as soon as possible. And if I can feel and feel already I'm in the next. Thank you so much for everything. Always you will be keeping touch with me by the WhatsApp. That situation very hard. Even the Brahm also. Thank you for each of the leaders. At least remember me what's the happening there during that very hard situation. But anyhow, again, my pleasure to meet each of leaders.
Thank you so much, Mariam. To members and guests, I'd like to clarify that in this Toastmaster Club in Leadership Speak, we typically don't mention and don't talk about politics, geopolitics, and certain events that may be sensitive to different cultures around the world. But nevertheless, as individual human beings and leaders, intercultural leaders that we are, we remain sensitive. And when we have members that are afflicted by some of the happenings around, our love and our concern goes to these members. Mariam is one of them. She has unfortunately not been able to renew with us for the past few months, and I'm very happy that she's here. I'm able to speak with her, and I'll continue to interact with her over WhatsApp and other means we have outside of meetings. Thank you so much, Mariam. Lightens my heart so much to see that you are safe and you're here today. Thank you. With that, I acknowledge there are a few more members who are repeating guests who have been with us quite often. I would invite guests as well as members who are available to continue staying with us for a post-meeting discussion. I'll end with some concluding remarks. Members and guests, self-directed leaders, I shall call all of you. By being here, by being present, especially those of us since the very start of the meeting, some of us as early as 9 o'clock Eastern time, almost 3 hours ago. Our presence is a choice that we make. We choose to be here. And I'm very appreciative about that. That itself is a big commitment, 3 hours, especially those who are here week after week. Nevertheless, I would still challenge you, each and every one of us. Step forward. To the extent that you can, step forward. The different roles that you have, the different goals that you have in Toastmasters as well as outside of Toastmasters. And for those of us who have yet to have a community of members who will continuously challenge you, push you, not to degrade you or to demoralize you, but with love, with hopes that you step on the path of improving your self-directed leadership. This is the club for you. For members who are here, thank you so much for this 1 year that you have been in my life and been in fellow members' life. And for guests, I look forward to the time you can also be part of this community. To be challenged, at the same time, learn how to challenge others in a way that will encourage them, so that as a community, we grow together. This is what it means then to honor the journey that has been happening and continuously to honor the journey as we move ahead to set our big goals to come and to achieve them with dedication, with commitment, and above all, a love for excellence and service. Thank you so much. With that, I hereby declare that the last chapter meeting of this Toastmasters year of 2025 and 2026 for Leadership Speak is hereby concluded. Zoom Master and Zoom Host, could you please